Milk teeth form deep in the gums while we're still in the womb. Now, one by one, they are bursting through. It's painful, but it's progress. At last, we can eat solid food. Digestion starts in the mouth. The teeth grind up the food. Next, special glands under the tongue pump out saliva. It helps break down the food. Saliva also lubricates the food on its 12-hour, 4-meter journey through the gut. It'll pass from the stomach into the small intestine and finally the large intestine. Waves of contracting muscle keep our food moving throughout the journey in a process called peristalsis. The contractions are so powerful, we can even eat upside down. This is a unique view of where the food is heading. For the first time, a new camera shows a high-definition view of the journey to our stomach. Food enters the stomach through a hole at the top. The stomach is a bag of muscle. It churns, squashes and squeezes the food into liquid. At the same time, acid breaks down the food. The acid is so corrosive, the stomach continually coats its interior walls with mucus for protection. Without it, stomach ulcers would form. After about an hour, the stomach squeezes the broken down food through a tiny hole called the pyloric sphincter. The food enters the small intestine, a 3.5-meter coil of tube. This is where we absorb most of the nutrients. First, the pancreas pumps out a juice that neutralizes the stomach acid. Then bile from the liver breaks down the fats into tiny droplets. Smaller droplets are easier for the intestine to absorb. The interior wall of the small intestine is lined with millions of microscopic projections called villi. These increase the surface area of the gut, making it easier to absorb nutrients. After an hour and a half, the small intestine has absorbed most of the nutrients from the food. What's left enters the large intestine through this, the ileocecal sphincter. It's a valve that prevents our food going back. There are few nutrients left to absorb now. The large intestine's main job is to extract water. What remains is a mixture of waste food, dead cells, and lots of bacteria. These bacteria in the large intestine aren't an infection. They produce enzymes that break down complex carbohydrates in our food. Carbohydrates we couldn't otherwise digest. Finally, after about 12 hours, we expel what remains of the meal.